Welcome back to Waking Up with Kandy. And if this is the first time that we're meeting, my name is Candace, and I'm a bright and shiny mystical being. Yes. And today, the Waking Up with Kandy is just created as a safe place for us to share our wisdom and share our experiences, our spiritual awakening experiences with each other in order to help heal. So we're here to listen, and we have a very special guest, soul healer, and let me go ahead and let her in. Soul healer and business owner, restaurant owner, Laura. So excited for this one, seriously. Yay! Oh, yay. Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, well, thank you. It's so nice to be on here with you.
Thank you. I'm so honored. Thanks, Morgan. I'm so honored to have you. Seriously, I'm so honored and even more blessed because you are so down to earth and sweet and genuine and magical. And
That's so sweet because that's everything I think about you. I was like, wow, she's so humble, so sweet, and so down to earth, and so nice. And I was like, wow, you just described yourself. So basically, they say,
mirror, mirror.
Yeah, exactly. We're a perception of each other. So I'm like, yeah, we're the same.
Man, am I evolving then? A lot. As you are. Okay. Oh, and we're twins too. I like it. Black on black. I love it. Okay.
I know, right? We're like, I need my reading glasses on because I can't see. So I'm like, okay, we got our glasses on. We're matching our black. We're on it.
I love it. I love it so much. I know, right? I know. I can't see either. I wish I could but yeah, I'd be squinting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how about you can go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and then get into, kind of your spiritual journey thus far.
Okay. Well, so I do want to say this is the first time I'm speaking about my spiritual journey. Usually it's just been me and my partner. That's the only person I share with. So basically I've been shut away for about almost 2 years. We're just every day, just reading rituals and just healing, shadow work, and just completely shut off from everything else. Of course, taking care of my business and just coming home and just doing everything that I could for healing, and so this is kind of the first time it's my coming out,
I know!
so I'm not even really prepared. I don't really know what to say, but
me either.
I'll just let you know where or how and everything started.
Yes.
I was going through just this period in my time, just a bad situation going over and over and over. And I kept just saying, asking the universe, if this is not a good situation, give me a sign. And I would get a sign. And I would say, no, I know that's not it. So I'm just going to continue this, or I'm going to continue doing the same thing. And it can't be that. So universe, if there's a sign, give me the sign. Then it would give it to me again. And I would say, no, that's not it. So basically what I've learned is that you have there are bad things that may happen to you, but they're all to wake you up, basically. So once I started my healing process and brave enough to make decisions in my life and to cut things out and to start being very honest with myself, because to be honest with oneself, it's really hard to say, this is where I lack this, or this is where I failed this, or this is what I continue to do. That's not right.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
So I started being really honest with myself. But what I learned after is that every situation that does happen to you, if it's a bad situation, It's just a wake-up call. It's a blessing. It's something that's like knocking on the door going, hey, remember why, remember this is not what you're here for. Like heal this part of you. And, we're thrusted into this beautiful planet, right? And we experience a lot of different things. And a lot of the things sometimes is not our fault. And, we are shaped into what our upbringing was, right? So we carry a lot of that stuff into adulthood. And we kind of keep repeating the same thing as if we're children. But now we're adults and we're not realizing that we're kind of doing the same thing as kids, except now we're doing it in like adult situations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I started learning that there's things that I kept repeating. And I started learning that I had to understand why I had triggers, or why did this trigger me? Why did I allow these things to happen to me? Why did I allow this to continue? And I had to be very honest and be like, okay, these are things I need to heal. And so I just started healing them. I started being honest with myself. I started doing like shadow work. I'm not sure if anyone's like familiar with shadow work, but really you dive really down deep inside, and you be really with love and compassion, and not judging, but really get down to what situations brought me here. And you have to start remembering maybe bad things or not so good memories. And they bring up a lot of emotions. But you see, all these emotions are living inside of you. All these emotions are like think of it like little people are living inside of you, And did you want to say something?
No, that's good. I like this analogy. Yeah.
So it's like you need to heal every little part of you. Like, for example, like if you can express your like pain when you were a child, like if you had people around you who were like, no, you can't cry, you shouldn't cry. As an adult, we carry that inside of us. Even though we're like, oh yeah, I'm fine, nothing's wrong. We still have that pain. We still have that child inside that's like, I couldn't express this. So once you start going into shadow work and you start really being honest with yourself, and you could start shadow work with like meditating and just like being in a stillness and like asking like, what is it that, why am I feeling this, or why does this trigger me? And always changing our mindset of not the I'm a victim and why did that person do this to me, because you can never you can't control other people. You can only control what you do, what you feel, what's happening, how you react to those things. So when someone does do something or says something and you feel a trigger, that's an opportunity for you to go, okay, there's something there. Because if you were healed or like, so like really quick, like example, someone could tell me, oh, Laura, I don't believe in what you're doing and it's ridiculous. And I can be like, okay. And I will not think anything of it, because I'm very strong in what I believe in. But but it's because I've done shadow work. It's because I've done a lot of healing. You tell me that, 2, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I'd be like, well, maybe they're right. Am I doing this? No, maybe this isn't the right. You start downing yourself because there are things inside of you that they're not healed, right? Yeah. So we have all of these little tiny emotions inside of us that are just there, that have not been healed. They haven't been dealt with, that we've like kind of gotten and gone, okay, I'm just going to put you to the side and I'm just going to keep going. And I kind of lived my life a lot like that too, where I was like, oh, I feel that. I'm going to put you to the side and keep going, because I felt like I got to be strong. I got to keep going. And I was a single mom really young. I had a daughter at 24. So I felt like, yeah.
I know.
Now she's 25. Wow. Like, she's a great kid.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, so like I really had this mindset of like I gotta be strong and I gotta be like, you know, I gotta go, 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 go. But in that process, I ignored a lot of things, a lot of emotional healing that I needed to do, a lot of painful things that I felt like, you know, didn't need attention. And, you know, there could be, you could have had a great life too and still have painful memories and painful things that happened to you. And it's not about how painful they were, because you can never like compare yourself. Don't ever compare yourself like, well, I didn't have it that bad. No,
Mhm.
because for that one moment, from that one moment of you being a child, it did hurt you. It doesn't matter how extreme or unextreme, like, oh, my parents never abused me. But that doesn't mean you never got hurt.
Mm.
That, you know, oh, my parents, you know, gave me everything. We were always happy, we were great. But there could have been just one little moment of just like, hey, look at this. And, you know, they ignored you. And then you're like, oh, but that stays with you
Yeah.
regardless, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it's so important for us to understand that it's not, hey, well, that person had it worse than me, so I should, you know, I shouldn't feel like I should just keep going, or I should ignore this, or I don't, you know, I don't need to pay attention to these parts of me. No,
Mhm.
everyone has a chance to heal. They should heal. They should take care of these emotions. If you have a trigger, that is a wake up call right there. That is like
Data.
the universe going, ta ta, hey, we got to fix that. And once we give ourselves that attention and that love, non judgment, and
Mm.
care, and you release it, you're really healing like yourself, and you're healing like all this like ancestral things
Right.
that come, your karmic, you know, um all of this like past like lineage.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so important that even if it's the tiniest thing, you need to heal it. And by healing it is just by acknowledge, simplest thing, acknowledge it,
Mm-hmm.
thank it, and release it and say, I'm okay now. I don't need you. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times too, a lot of the hurt is us being defensive, or us being like, I gotta be right, or I have to say what I need to say, or why didn't I get this, or you know, I work here and I'm not getting this stuff done, or I'm not getting promoted, and why me, and why. If we are living our life as in why, and why not, why me,
Mm-hmm.
then that's a sign of like, hey, I need some healing. And it's okay to admit I need healing. You know, like with everything I've done, like everything I've done, I will still say I still need more healing. Like we will never be at a point
Yep.
where, oh, it's 100%. You know, you could live your life, I could be at peace, everything's good, and then all of a sudden something, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that was there. I mean, we've had so, I mean, imagine every day, every second, there's something that has happened. And sometimes we know it's there, and sometimes we don't know it's there,
I
you
know.
know?
Sometimes it's hidden. We hide it
Yes.
so deep down
Yeah.
that we have to. It doesn't even come up no, like um, organically. Then we
Yeah.
have to do certain tools and certain tech like things to dig it out and
Yeah.
really travel in. So have you done that as well? Like not just when it
Yeah.
comes up, but yeah.
Yeah. So what I did, like with my first, like when I started with like doing shadow work, and I've done like uh I went to this one gathering where we did like a healing your inner child. Like that's so important. Is like healing your inner child. And I've done that. I've done like the cacao ceremonies, sound baths. I've done lots and lots and lots of reading. And I do like a lot of divination, you know, as well. You know, speaking to my guides, everything, all of the answers are very simple and they're all there in front of us. What I've realized too is that you know, through spirituality, like I've learned that when I look back in my life, it's always been there. I just ignored it. Like I always, like, either I met somebody that would talk about it and I would just be like, oh, you know, whatever, or yeah. But it's funny because my dad hasn't been on this planet for years and years and years and years. And just recently, when I started opening my store, I started working on opening my store in September. I started thinking, like, a lot of his memories started coming back to me of times of he and I talking when I was like 12 and 11. And my dad would say so many spiritual things to me. And as a kid, I'd just be like, all right, cool, cool, whatever. You know, I would ignore it. But it was the universe speaking through him to like prepare me or to like wake me up. But you see, it's kind of like the universe will use different people in your life, even in a bad situation, even like in an argument. The universe will speak through them to you to kind of wake you up, because you got to understand that the spirits or guides, they can't come down here and be like walking among us in their form. They need to go into a vessel to get a message across. And that vessel is usually another person. So when you hear a person and all of a sudden they say something, you're like, wow, that was, that's weird, because they don't talk that way or something. It's usually your spirit guide, or even just a stranger. Usually it's a stranger, you know, and you're like, wow, like, huh,
totally random.
Yeah. I have had that so many times where someone, just a total stranger, will say something to me and I'll be like, oh, okay, I got it. You know, now I'm very open to that. And I'm like, okay, I got the message. Thank you. You know, but definitely it was like just thinking about, you know, just all these memories started coming through. And I'm like, wow, that's so interesting. And I just started thinking, you know, my dad must be here, like sending me these pictures of these memories, like to just show me like, hey, finally, you got it. Finally, you know, he would call me Mija. Finally, Mija. Now, you see, this is what I was talking about. Because I'm like, how did I not remember these memories a year ago or 2 years ago, when I started really like diving into like reading and divination and like healing? Like, none of these memories came to me until September. And
Interesting.
it's like, yeah, he would sit there on the bed and be like, you know, you could like, you know, he wouldn't use words manifesting. He wouldn't use spirituality. It was just a way of life. It was just like, you know, your body, you can just heal yourself. You understand that if you have like a positive attitude about everything, you can heal yourself. You know, there are things that are gonna, you know, you may hurt about things, but if you just let them go and you let them go with love. And he would talk to me about shadow work, but not call it shadow work.
Right,
it was just like, this is the way you live, this is the way. And every morning he would say, every morning you wake up, you know, you be, you know, have gratitude and thank this and that. Even if it's a bad day, you say thank you, because, you know, it's a gift. And I would be like, all right, sure, we'll talk later. You know, like, I would just ignore it. I was a kid. I didn't know. I wanted to go play with my friends. I didn't want to be talking to my dad about that. But now, like, all these memories are coming through, and I'm like, wow, like, my guides have been there all along. Like, you know, I've never been alone. They've been there going, hey. And I've been the one going, too distracted. I'm distracted. I'm distracted with what's on TV. I'm distracted with, you know, social media. I'm distracted with all this, you know, boyfriend, and not the boyfriend I have now, because he's a great guy. I'm just saying, like, oh, this guy, you know, or being single and trying to date, or like my job, or like, you know, work, or why is my car like this, and why don't I have this, and then
the lack, complete.
Yeah, exactly. All of it is a distraction. Everything is a distraction from just who we are and what we are meant to be, you know. And if we just stop and we just like stay in the silence and open ourselves to like receiving messages. But we also need that healing. We also need to not be distracted. We also need to like be very honest people and really see it, everything in love and say, okay, and be in gratitude. You know, I've been even, but you know, I do have to say, even at this point, bad things happen. And it's how you take those bad things. It's not going to be perfect. You don't go, oh, I finally am healed and everything's rosy and nothing's going to happen, because we're on this beautiful earth, and on this earth there's other energies as well. And you know, light attracts dark, right? And
Yeah.
there has to be a balance. It's not always light. So you will get tested. You
Mm-hmm.
will get like, you know, things that are like come about. You could be very protected, but like things around you might happen.
Yeah.
You know, unforeseen things, and it's how do you handle those? And when you're healed, you can handle them so much better because you understand it's just something that happens, and it's not about you. There's
Right.
a reason for it. And when it happens, you walk through it, you walk, and then you end up on the other side and you go, ah, now I know that why that happened. Thank you. I learned this about that. Or you come out on the other end and you go, wow, I went through that. That's awesome. And I'm okay. Thank you. And thank you. It just gives you more strength and more reassurance that you have guidance and you have love and you're not alone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's just like if everyone would just give themselves that chance to heal and to really pay attention to what's triggering them. Why are they feeling these things? Why do they keep making like the same choices in life? And be brave enough to go, I'm done. I'm so done feeling like this. I'm so done, you know, making these type of choices. And I got like that. I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna stop everything, and I'm going to try to figure something out. And I didn't say I'm done. I'm gonna find spirituality. And like even like saying spirituality sounds really odd to me because I just feel like it is just the way of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just, you know, I try to not say spirituality. I just like, this is just the way it is. It is, this is who we are. This is what we're meant to be.
Yeah.
Everything else that happened is not what we were meant to be. You know, but like when I finally said, I'm done, like I need to, I'm done being this person. I'm done making these mistakes. I'm done. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to be spiritual, or, oh, hey, I'm going to get into this, or no, it just started happening. Once I said, I'm done and I'm not making the same mistakes, I'm going to try to figure this out.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know there was some type of like, oh, healing or child heal, you know, your inner child heal. Like I knew none of that stuff. I was just like done. I was tired.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was my
like,
question. Like, did you hear about the shadow worker, you know, doing this, and you're like, oh, maybe that would help me. You really just felt it within yourself, like I need to stop, and it's already within us all, so it
it's
just
all
came
within us.
forward.
And
Wow.
exactly. A lot of
Wow.
stuff like, but there's some stuff I did learn from where it was
Yeah.
like, how to explain it. I was like, I'm done. I'm like, I'm not going to, I got to figure out why I'm making I wasn't even like, I got to figure out why I'm making these mistakes. It was like, I'm done. I'm just so done. I just want to stop everything. And I just stopped watching TV. I kind of like stopped being on social media a lot. And I was just working. And then someone was like, hey, Laura, hey, there's going to be like this, you know, crystal shop, like workshop. You should come down. And I was like, all right, I have nothing to do. I'll go, you know? And then
Yeah.
I started hearing about crystals. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. All right, let me check that out. And I started checking that out. And then from that, I was like, someone there was like, hey, we should do Reiki. And I was like, Reiki? Okay. So it's kind of like once you make a decision, they come to you. It's like everything starts coming to you. Like they're like, oh, they're ready. Let's start putting people into their path to guide them somewhere. And I didn't have to go looking. And then from there, like someone else was like, oh, hey, have you ever heard about shadow work? And I was like, no, I thought it was like shadow work. What's that? And they started reading about it. And I'm like, oh, or like I saw something on like a post and I was like, oh, what's this? So then I just started, going into further. And then with the healing, then other things start coming up where you start thinking of things. And then you're like unlocking other information where you're like, ah. And then what's really interesting is like I kept journals. Like I have journals all over my house. I have so many journals where like these wild ideas would come to my mind. Oh, well, what is this? Da, 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 da. I would write it down. Oh, well, but okay, there it is. And when I go back and I read them, I'm like, oh my God, I just read that in the book. And I wrote this over a year ago, but
Wow.
I just read it in this like Ascending Masters book that I've been reading. And I'm like, they said the same exact thing. So that collective consciousness, it is real. And what I've come to, my take on this collective consciousness is that we are like all from the same source and we all come down here with the same information. It's just that we're not unlocking it. And that's why I'm like, wait, how is it that I just said a year ago, this and this and that, and this is the way it is? And like, I just read a book written by an author just 2 months ago, and he said the same exact thing. Yeah. I guess because we all know the same thing. We came down here knowing the same thing, but we got distracted. And we got so distracted. But as soon as we start like healing, letting things go, knowing that everything is for a reason, understanding that it's okay. And sometimes that reason, and it's because it's for someone else. We're just, it's like a method to the madness. Like we may be part of something that's going to be someone else's, either their karmic healing or something they need to learn or something that they have to figure out. And we were just in part of that process. But out of that process, we come out also healed on something else. If that makes sense. Like everything's just connected and everything's like together and everything is just one, right?
Yeah.
So by keeping my journals and going back to those journals, then I read another book and I'm going, wait, I said this before. And I start going through all my journals and I pull it out. I'm like, oh, I said that before. How did I know that? That was like a crazy thought that came to my mind when I said, what? And I went, wow, there it is. And I'm like, it's because we all have that information. We all have the same information, and it's how it'll just start unlocking, and we just start getting that power back that we came down here with. And everyone has it. Everyone has this power. Everyone has this information. Everyone has the power to like heal themselves. They have the power to know the answers to why we're here, why they're here, their own purpose. We're trying to find our purpose outwardly, and our purpose is inwardly, and it manifests outward from the inside out. It's not something tangible where we're trying to attain something, And once we do that, people will come to you and they'll be like, hey, and then you'll go, oh, wow, okay, cool. Like I could learn this. And then somebody else will say something, or you'll be somewhere and you'll hear something and you'll go, oh, that sounds familiar. Oh, let me read more into that. Or you'll read something and go, oh, I should read about that. And all of a sudden it starts moving in that direction. And you don't even really have to go looking for it. It'll just like come to you. And it's so like amazing where you're just like, wow, it is real. It's like so real. And I mean, and I'm not even gonna say like my life's been like perfect since I found all of this or been unlocking things. Like my restaurant got broken into like 6 months ago or 8 months ago. Like someone broke into it, they stole some cash, like that happened. It's not like, oh, okay, but guess what? I wasn't there. Nothing happened to me. Nothing happened to my employees. So thank God, great. Right. Thank you. I'm grateful. Maybe that's their karma that they have to deal with. Maybe they needed that money. I don't know. But guess what? I was able to board up my door. I was able to continue business, put in a new door. We're good. It's like that just because you're on this path does not mean everything is rosy. And it's okay because we are still like, we are on this planet, and there are other energies. And we just need to understand that when you're going through healing, you will have like things and like energies trying to pull you into a different direction because they're not going to like that you're healing. Because once you're healed or in this process of healing, you're vibrating, your vibration, your frequency is so strong. Like you're like feeding the planet with your vibration. And our other brothers and sisters are feeding the planet with their vibration. And that's what is like making this planet like thrive, is like we all need to be on that vibration because this planet was here before we were even born, and it'll be here when we're gone. And we need to leave this planet like healthy and good for every being. I don't know what beings are going to be here after the human race. There could be other beings, but there are planets in this whole galaxy and hundreds and thousands of other galaxies. And in every galaxy, every being understands that they need to take care of their planet. And then this is the only planet where us humans don't take care of it. And it's kind of like a disservice for the multitude of galaxies that are out there, planets that are out there. Like we really need to come back into who or why we came here. And we're really here for this planet, to like take care of it and to make it thrive and to allow it to continue on for other humans and other beings for millions of years. It's not, we should not be taking this planet for granted that way. We have other planets that have like perished because, like they've even found like water like on the moon, like little deposits of it. Like obviously there was something there. Mars. We need to make sure that we don't allow that to happen to this earth like in 1,000,000 years or 100 years or 1,000 years. And if we're vibrating good and we're on this like vibration, that's why when they say, hey, go ground yourself, walk on the earth, walk barefoot, we're transmitting that energy into this planet. And that's what, if we had more people doing that, it would just like vibrate, because earth is like a living organism in itself. It has its own consciousness as well. It's thriving when we're thriving. But of course there's other, like I've said, energies that are kind of bringing it down. And that's why it's so important for us to go, hey, it's not just me. It's not about me. I need to heal. We have that that's our duty, is to heal and to get back to what we were here for. We came here for that. We came here to like vibrate this planet into like health and keep it going, Yeah.
Because Earth Gaia, she's a fifth dimensional beyond planet. So she's going. She's going into it. Like she's evolving. She's gonna go with or without us. And it's up to us to choose what we want and to raise our frequency up higher to the whole Schumann resonance as well, like the what is it called, the energetic field, magnetic field around the earth, that's what tracks our frequencies and everything.
Exactly. And I know it's really hard to get out of like our mind. Our mind is so like why or this or that, and always thinking. And we need to come out of our mind and go back into our heart. We don't really need to think that hard. We have to feel. We have to live from here, from our heart, not from the mind. We need to live from our heart. And I mean, even for myself, and again, what I'm saying, I'm not perfect. I'm not 100%. I still have healing to do. I'm just saying, my mind will say something and I'll go, ah. And that's the thing. The key is awareness. The key is knowing, okay, that's a thought. Okay. I acknowledge you, but that's not correct. Or that's probably just something that I'm used to saying.
Old patterns.
Something that I've heard. That's an old pattern. I acknowledge it. That's not what it is. And you go back to your feeling and being in the present moment, you know, like being present, not what happened 5 years ago, what's going to happen 2 years from now, you know, having, you know, being in the present moment, being here now. And when you wake up and being in the present moment and going, you know, thank you. And I'm grateful. And whatever it is that you have, what you don't have, what you do have, if it's little, if it's good, if it's bad, even if you're in a really bad situation, I'm not saying stay, but be grateful, because that bad situation is propelling you to get out of that situation for a certain reason. Yeah. I've had women come to my store and they'll say to me, I'm like, oh, so what brings you here? And they'll say, you know, really, honestly, I've gone through a bad breakup and I'm here because I want a candle for like healing. And I'm like, you should thank that. You should thank that relationship, that bad relationship. And one lady was like, she's like, but he, and I'm like, no, he brought you here. You're taking the first step to healing. That's beautiful. Good. Thank that relationship. Good, it's gone. But thank you. Thanks, because now I'm here. Now I'm here to heal. Like, because you weren't here before and you weren't trying to heal before. But that bad situation brought you here. So everything happens for a reason. Even the bad things happen for a reason.
Yeah, because she learned. Like, you learn from it. You learn from it. And so then it's all spiral. So maybe that lesson particularly that she learned with that relationship stems from her way childhood or one instant. And it just keeps repeating in different ways and in adult ways. So,
it's such, like, everything, if we looked at everything and like things, you know, we're not taught these things. Like, if we were taught to look at every situation as a learning experience and think, what did I learn from this experience? What did I learn from this? What could I have done different? What could I have done differently? Not that person did this, that person did that. I can't believe it. Da 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 da. We've all had those conversations. I've had.
Not take responsibility.
If you only did this, or if only my job this, or if I only had this, and if I could do this, this could happen. What could I have done differently? How could I have been, taking that situation differently? And once we start taking responsibility for ourselves, we start realizing that others people will put their own perception on you, or their own wounds on you, or their own unhealed traumas onto you. And I started seeing that where I was healing and I was reacting differently now. I was like not jumping the gun on things or trying to be like, oh, blah, 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 back at somebody or something. I would just stand there and just listen. And that person would just da 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 da, and you're just like, I don't resonate with what they're saying because I don't feel that way. Wow,
you've lifted your vibration.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, I don't see it that way. Like, I'm like, wow, that's how you feel because you feel that inside of you. And usually that's what we do. We project, and thank you. You project what you feel inside of you onto other people. So if you heal yourself and you start seeing other people the way they react, and you are healed or you're healing, you start realizing, well, wow, that was never about me. That was about them. Not me. It was them. That's the way they choose to be. And you could go through life feeling a lot more at peace and and loving people, and not judging them, and going, I hope they heal one day, because it softens your heart, and it softens your soul, and you're like, wow, I hope one day you heal. I
And
hope
love
one
them.
day, yeah, I hope, and you understand it's not their fault. It's just how we become an individual, because this is how we were brought up. This is how we were presented this way, and our life skills, and like our survival skills, and we try to live in that survival mode, and it's so important for us to really like take care of us, and it's not a selfish thing. It's so important, because you could only control you, nobody else. And then once you start, you could heal a lot of relationships in your life as well, because once you stop and once you realize, and you're like, okay, I understand how you feel, the other person might be like, so like you're just like, okay, I understand. And that, so there's a lot of, and you could apply it in anything, a relationship or work, or your coworker, or your best friend, or your teacher, or your kid.
Bad situations too.
Yeah.
Just like with the break-in, you could have reacted completely differently, but you were coming from a higher place that you saw it and reacted in a different way.
Yeah. It's interesting, because when that happened, my boyfriend was starting his healing process, right? And he was just in shock. He was standing there. We're at my restaurant, and like there's glass everywhere, and I'm like looking around, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm like, hey, at least no one was hurt. You know what? Hey, my refrigerator's still working, and the deli case is working. Oh, look, they didn't even touch any of the food. Oh, they took the money. Hopefully, I mean, obviously they needed it or something. I hope they're okay, whatever it is, for whatever reason. Thank God I have the money to put the board up or whatever. It is what it is. And he was like, he was like,
waiting for you to react or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
he's like, he was like, I don't understand that you're just standing here going, all right, cool. Hey, thanks, thank God. Or hey, I hope it is what it is. They must have needed that money for something. I don't know. It is what it is. And he was like, wow. He was like, wow. He's like, I would have thought you would have been crying or upset. And he's like, and if you did, that wouldn't be a bad thing either. It's like, it's normal. You just came to somebody breaking into your restaurant and stealing money. Like, yes, you should be angry. Yes, you should be mad. Yes, you should be like upset. You should be discouraged. You should be like, sad. You should be crying. You should be like, oh, I feel so violated. He's like, you're just like, okay. I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, there's a reason why it happened, and we'll, I may not know why now. Maybe I'll find out later, and maybe I'll never find out. But it happened for a reason, and I just need to look at the part of where I'm grateful in this situation. We weren't here. They didn't. I'm like, even if they would have destroyed everything, then maybe it was meant for me to, okay, well, there, it's over. My guys want me to move on to something else. I just have to trust. Why did that happen?
You let go. You let go of taking anything personally. You trusted. You let go of that control, and you're just.
Yeah, that's how you need to live life. Is like, not where you're like, I don't care, but you got to realize everything happens for a reason. And okay, that happened. Okay, I'll figure it out later. And if not, it's not meant for me to figure it out. And it was probably on their end, something for them. Maybe something happened on their end, or their karma, or something out there. And it's not for me to understand. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. And as humans, we want to know. We want to like find answers to everything, which is
Yes.
just human nature. You know, we are
Yes.
spiritual beings, and it's, you know, human experience.
Yeah.
But not everything will have an answer, or we
Yeah.
are ready for the answer, or that we will receive it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you know, once we realize like we need to like trust and everything's okay, and we just need to be the best humans that we can, and to understand that we're really like a spirit in a body. We're like a soul in the body. We're like, this is just a vessel here, you know?
Yeah.
Because our soul couldn't come down here and go, hey, I'm gonna touch this apple. I can't touch it, you know. Oh, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna drive a car, because the soul can't drive a car, you know. I want to taste what spaghetti tastes like, you know, because
Yeah.
we're all over, we're everywhere. But we couldn't experience that. So we said, hey, I'm gonna go into a body and I'm going to experience it. And that's, you know, another thing. That's why we need to love our body, regardless. I know we have like these, like, oh, I wish I had this, or I wish I looked like this, or I wish my hair was longer. I wish my body didn't look like, oh, you know, I have little cellulite hair, which I have cellulite. So, you know, like, oh, I have cellulite, or oh, I have this, or I have. We need to be like, thank you. I love you. This is amazing. Because without this body, our soul would not be able to touch an apple. Our soul would not be able to eat spaghetti and taste what spaghetti tastes like, which is my favorite food, right?
Oh, really? I was going to ask you. She's such a bomb cook, you guys. Like, she owns Veggie Cake in Whittier. Okay, just sorry, real quick, because I just had it recently. Bomb. Like that food,
Thank
you just
you.
like, you eat like, oh, just when you're drunk, especially too. And ooh, it's a home cooked meal, and grandma makes it late at night. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Anyway, bomb.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's where, but you know, I feel like there's so much distraction. Like there's this like collective energy of like, oh, you should look this way, or you know, if you have this, yeah, like this fear, or like, oh, you should, you know, you got to look this way, you got to look like that, and you got to look like this. Like, you need to love yourself, love your body. With It's not imperfect, it is just as perfect as what you chose it to be. Like, you chose this body. I chose this body. This is, before I came down, I chose it.
That's
I chose the cellulite on my thighs. I was okay with it. So I should be okay with it. I should not be like, oh, you know, you know? You should nourish your body. You should eat well. You should take care of it, because the more your body is here on earth, the more your soul experiences what it wanted to experience. You know? You have like, you have this responsibility to your soul. You wanted to be here. You came here for a reason. And if you're like eating things and smoking cigarettes and drinking Coke and like coffee all the time and just like sugar and just like doing this to your body, your soul's like, wait, I came here for things. And now you're destroying the vessel that I can walk in, because I can't walk and feel grass. I can't, you know, hug a child and feel them, because I'm a soul. Like, everything is like kind of just walks through me. But with your body, which is imperfect, you know, which is perfect, I can touch, I can hug a child, I can give a kiss to the person I love. I feel the love. I can see it. I could see through your eyes. I can smell through the nose. I can taste through the mouth. I can hear with these ears. Like, we have a responsibility to our soul. Like, we have to understand that it's like a body, a mind, a soul. Like, and these all have different consciousness. Like, our mind could think one thing, our soul's feeling another consciousness. Our body feels a consciousness. Have you ever like just been like sitting there, and I'll, like right now, I just did it right now. I scratched my forehead. I didn't like, I barely like didn't even think about like, oh, I have an itch, I'm gonna scratch it. My body felt that itch and scratched it. It has its own consciousness as well. And if we are like just not taking care of our bodies, we are doing a disservice to our souls.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to love our bodies, love
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
that's so, so important. Like we forget about self-love. And I know there's a lot of, oh, self-love and memes, love yourself. No, it's true. Like there was, before I went through all these healings, I would read all these memes like, you go girl, and like, girl boss, and da da da. And like, they would hype me up. I was like, yeah, yeah, woohoo, yeah, oh, self care, yeah, me first, yeah, da da. I wouldn't do anything though. It was just like a hype, and then like, all right, I forgot all about it, blah, blah, blah. You know? It was like cool for that 1 second that I would read it. Oh yeah, woo, you know, and then that's it. But it's like, yes, it's important. You need to give yourself self-love. It's
Daily.
kind of like,
Like a
yeah,
daily
every
practice,
day,
right?
all the time, every day. I have to do it every day. It's like when you're in the plane, and what does the stewardess say? Oh, here's the mask. And what do they say? They say you put the mask on first, and then you put it on your child, right? You got to take care of you first.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not well, then you can't take care of anybody else around you,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So you need to love your body, love yourself, nourish yourself well, take care of yourself well, take care of your mind well. What do you see? What do you hear? What are you feeding yourself in the mind? What are you feeding yourself in? What are you listening to?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of conversations are you having with people? Everything feeds you. Everything is about taking care of yourself. If you're watching, you know, things that are just like, that are not enriching your life, you're feeding that into your mind and into your soul, you know? So you have to be very mindful about that too, and mindful about like loving yourself and not being critical about yourself.
Right.
Love and compassion for yourself is number one priority, is being compassionate and non-judgmental to yourself. That's like one of the biggest steps in healing, is being compassionate and loving and good to yourself.
Yeah. 100% agree. 100%. And, you know, I just wanted to point out something, a little ding ding happened.
Yeah.
So, like you said, whatever you're feeding your mind, right, you're absorbing. Whatever you're feeding it, you're absorbing. So, like, for instance, when you were young and you talked about your dad and how he would talk, you know, in this healing way or, you know, spiritual way and stuff, and you were like, oh, didn't even pay attention. And, you know, subconsciously, guess what? It held it in there. And it kept it for the exact moment that you needed to hear it again.
Yes.
So it's, so I just think that's so magical.
Yes. And that's amazing, because like I said that too. I was like, it's so weird. I'm getting all of these like memories with my dad. So weird, of these things that he would talk to me about. I totally forgot about him. I totally forgot that my dad would say that. My dad would be like, you know, if you have a headache, all you have to think about is, you know, you don't have a headache, and you just need to think about it. And then, and I wake up every morning, I'm healthy, I'm good, nothing, you know, I'll be fine. I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. So you won't get sick. My dad passed away when he was 71. My dad never was sick, ever, ever, ever. And I was like, what? I was like, and he just lived his life this way. And so now, like, all these memories are coming to me, and I'm like, you know what? Even though you're right, even though as a kid, where I was like, I just want to go play, I just want to go be with my friends outside, it's stored in my memory bank somewhere. Because it's like, wow, I'm like, this is crazy. How is it that after all these years, memories that I have not even thought about, or even remembered, boom, it's like a whole, like, it's like a film, like a movie will show. I was like, oh my God, my dad said that. Oh, wow. You know, like, I remember my dad said that. Why is it all coming back? It's all stored. And you're right. Everything that we're seeing and talking about is stored. That's why it's so important for us, like, not to be gossiping or talking about other people, because that's like words that we shouldn't be talking about. It's not of us. It's not from the soul. Like, we should be coming from love and compassion. And we don't know why someone or something or anything happens. We just need to take care of ourselves and make sure that we are living in alignment and we're doing our path. And, it's so important for me to let everyone know that there is no right or wrong way. Everyone has their path and everybody achieves it in their own way. There is no like, hey, do this and this is going to happen for you, or do it this way, or this is the right way and this is the only way. No, everyone has their way. And the beautiful thing is that we will all align with the same consciousness in our own way. Like if you look at all the different cultures and their ancient like religion or like their ancient ways and knowledge, they all have the same theme to them, but it's in their form, in their image. They have these different gods. If you go to Egypt, to the ancient Egyptian gods, they have the same gods for like in India and in Africa, but they're all named differently. They may have different things, but they all are kind of the same type of gods, and they all kind of like have similar stories. And back then, they didn't all hang out. We didn't have no cell phones back then. We didn't all hang out with each other. So why is it like all these different cultures have like the kind of same type of story and following? It's because we all are connected and we all will reach the same destination, just in our own path, the way we want to do it. Whatever we believe in or we don't believe in or practice or how we get there is everyone's individual way. And that's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty of the universe and the divine source is like, do it your way. It's okay. You will make it here. You will come here. And the divine source like just opens up to anything that will resonate to you. And that path will lead you back to our consciousness, like our divine consciousness, our one source. And that's like what's so beautiful about it. It's not about like, do it this way, or, Lord, what did you do? And I got to do exactly the same thing. If it resonates, awesome, do it. If it doesn't, you don't have to. But you know what? Find a way. Like, find it. Like, be with yourself and realize and be honest and tell yourself, what is it that you don't want to keep repeating? And be honest. What is it that I don't like that I'm doing? What is it that how do I speak that I don't like saying? I don't like being this type of person. Help me. If you just say, help me, they will come and they will help you. If you're like, I'm ready, they will come. They're just like all waiting. Or like, for me, I call them my spirit guides. For you, it could be something else. I'll say the divine source. For someone else, they'll call it something else. But whatever you resonate with, if you just say, I'm ready, help me, you will start getting the messages and you will get people that will say something and you'll go, whoa, okay, thanks. Got it. I got it. Okay. And it'll just start happening. You don't even have to do very much. It'll just start happening and you will start resonating with things and going, oh, I feel really close to that, or I feel really good with that, or I feel, and then you start discovering who you are and you start discovering like, and then you start going, maybe there's a reason why I like this, or there's a reason why I'm into this. Like I had one friend where like it was like when I was first starting my spirituality and I was like, oh, I do like all these intention candles for myself and you should do it too and blah, blah, blah. And the person was like, no, I'm not into that. I'm like, oh, cool. But this is how I do my full moon rituals and my candles and da-da. And they're like, no. So I recently saw them. We like stopped talking. Like they went on doing things and me too. And like, we didn't talk for like maybe 8-9 months or something. And I saw them again and they said, hey, I got to tell you something. I'm like, what? And they're like, I got into spirituality. And I was like, oh, and they were like, I got into it to Buddhism. And I started learning this and that and blah, blah, blah. And same thing that I believe in,
Yeah.
but it was their their method, and what they felt resonated with them was Buddhism, right? And that was like, wow, that's amazing, that's beautiful. Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what path, it doesn't matter how you get there, it's whatever you resonate with or what you feel good with. And it's all, he's vibrating high,
Yep.
he's a good person, he is, you know, on his, like, he is like honest, he knows, he kind of lives like what I do, but in his version, and it's beautiful. So like I tell people, it doesn't have to be one way, it doesn't have to be this way, it's just, we've lived lifetimes and we have that information.
Yeah.
So in one lifetime, you may have done it a certain way. You will start feeling how to resonate.
Mhm.
I call it shadow work. In another culture, it's called something else. You may
Yep.
follow that way. But we're
Yeah.
all doing the same kind of thing.
Yes, just
And
like
that's
prayers, like
yeah,
praying, or
yeah,
there's so many different, or manifestation
yes,
also could be like, it's all
yeah.
different words.
My, yeah, it's just like my dad would talk to me about it, and he never used the word manifestation. He never used the word spirituality. He never used, love and light. He never used all of the words that like I use now, but
Mhm.
it was the same concept, and it's like, if we just are not trying to look for the answer or the way, and just open and
Mhm.
just be open to receive, you'll be
Mhm.
led in your own way and in
Mhm.
your own path, and how you will open up and how you will resonate with everything. And that right there will just like open up everything to you.
Yeah.
And, that's what I really appreciate you like having this and allowing me to talk about it, because I was like never, like I have like been in like my little home and not just work home, and like not talked or shared anything with anyone.
I'm so
So I thank you.
yes, I'm like, I have no words. I'm so, yeah, I really am honored and so grateful that you,
No, I'm grateful. Thank you.
yeah, you're just like speaking everything you're saying. I'm like, yes, like, oh my gosh, so much. Like, really, it's like a mirror. It's so fascinating and
Yeah,
beautiful. And I'm so happy
thank
that
you.
you're speaking up and you have your shop, and oh, we have a minute
Thank you.
left.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
feel so blessed. I feel really, really blessed. And I'm there for as long as I'm needed. So I'm just here to serve. Like I've just been like, thank you. um, I'm
oh
just
yeah.
here to I'm just here to serve. I've just been going more into like my practice and more into like, you know, praying a lot more and like getting so many more messages. And like I've just been getting messages of like, you're here to serve. You're here to serve. You're here to serve. And so I'm just like, okay, whatever you need me to do, because we got to also realize like our guides and like gods and the divine source uses us to speak and uses us to, and my boyfriend who's like, hello, uses us to walk and talk, and
Mhm.
we have to like realize that we are their vessel as well,
Mhm.
you know,
It's so.
and yeah, and so the gods can't come down here and start walking and talking among us, right? So we are their vessels. And
Mhm.
I keep getting those messages of like, you're here to serve. You're here, you're not here for you anymore. You're like here just to serve. And I'm just like, okay, in
Surrender.
gratitude. Yeah, I'm like, in gratitude, whatever you need me to do, I'll do. And, we have to realize that we are here as their vessels too. And we need to walk and talk and live in honor of them being with us. They are like here, like, hey, I'm going to talk through you and I'm going to express through you. And we're like, okay, we'll do that,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have 30 seconds left, but
Okay.
like, oh my gosh, there's so much. Like, I want to know about your self-love tips. I want to know about your daily routines. I want to know about like your boyfriend's awakening, like how what happened. Like, so much.
I'm gonna have to talk to him about that.
Yeah,
because his story is a miracle. It's like literally, I met him. Literally, he was on the like this close to dying. Like,
really?
And right now, if you see him, we've been together 11 months. I mean, he did a lot of work. I mean, it wasn't me, not me. You know, I just like kind of like guided him a little bit. He did a lot of work, like a lot of painful things that he had to go through. But you see him now, and you're just like, what happened? Like, you're totally different. Like, you should have him. I don't think he's ready to talk about it, but he'll say it though. Like, when we're around other people, he'll be like, I was like this close to dying. And he was like suffering from anxiety, from depression. And I'm not saying we could cure anxiety, depression. I'm just saying what happened with him is he was there, right? And now he's like totally cured himself. Yeah. It's like, we should one day, hopefully he'll want to like come on.
I would love it.
About his journey. Yeah, he has a great story. Like, I'm just like, wow. Yeah, he has a great story.
Oh, how beautiful. I would, anytime we're open, I'm open. Yes, we would love to hear, because when we hear, we heal. And
yes,
we learn.
Exactly. And that's what's beautiful about it. Like, once you're healing and you're speaking about your path, or you're listening to someone else and they're trying to heal, it also heals you. And that's the beauty of it. Like, we're all healing each other at the same time, which is so amazing and so beautiful. It's like such a gift from the divine source. It's just amazing. My boyfriend's here just he's all dancing and stuff. I'm going to turn the camera around on you.
Cute. I know.
I'm going to start interviewing you right now.
He's
so cute.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't want it to end on me. I don't know why it's like, give me a countdown but not doing anything. I don't even know what this live's doing, but that's so funny. He's so funny. Oh.
Yeah, he's so sweet. But we could definitely, if you ever want to like do a part 2, we could do a part 2. If you ever want to do like a self-love thing. And again, like, you know, I don't have all the answers, but like, if I could share something with you, or like if my boyfriend ever like feels like, yes, I'll do, you know, I'll talk, and he shares some of his stuff, like, it's just like, you know, does it resonate with you and you want to do it? Or what I say, you might go, you know what, that gives me an idea. I can do this instead, you know?
Exactly.
That's what I told you. Everyone has their path. I did.
Did you just say that? And you're like, that's what I said.
She's like, everyone has their path. I'm like, I know.
How cute. Oh my gosh. I love it. Oh, I can't wait to meet him. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a great guy.
Good. Oh, I'm so happy for you and everything that's happening in your life right now. So happy. So
Thank you.
Grateful for you.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you. I send you blessings. I send everyone else blessings. You guys are so much more than what you know. You guys are lights, and just know that the light, whatever you're looking for in your life right now, whatever you're lacking, whatever you don't find, it's within you. That's why you're looking in the wrong places. Look within. It's all inside of you. You don't need to look anywhere else. It's not in a person. It's not in a job. It's not anywhere except inside of you. Just look within. You guys are the light, and you have the answers to everything. And you're very important. My boyfriend said you guys are important. You are.
You are.
Yeah, that's what I told him. We need everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. Yes. Right? I mean, I'm like fanning out, like girl fanning out, like
we're so
like,
cute.
All of it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I could just talk to you forever. Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, but yeah, I guess I'll really let you go.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And,
You continue
your work. This is beautiful. just keep going with your path, and you are divinely protected and you're divinely guided. So I feel very blessed to be here, like, in your presence. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I just want to hug you. I can't wait one day. We'll hug.
I know. We'll hug.
Oh,
Just our hugs right now. I'll send you some hugs.
thank you. Okay, you guys have a beautiful night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Love it.